Breaking news from Shams Charania. The Charlotte Hornets are trading star guard LaMelo Ball and Josh Green to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Naz Reid, a 2033 unprotected first-round pick, 3 first-round pick swaps, and 3 second-round picks. A story we've been following since it broke overnight. We've been talking about it this morning, and now it has happened as Charlotte is moving on from one of the most popular players in the NBA. Windy, there's a lot of back-of-the-envelope math going on right now. What more do we know?
All right, let's eat this elephant one bite at a time, okay? Let's start from Minnesota. Minnesota, this is a move to get Ant Edwards the kind of backcourt running mate that he needs. Ant Edwards was a guy that people, after Giannis getting traded, were like, is this the next star player to be traded? He has watched Karl-Anthony Towns go to New York in a trade that ended up not working out and win a championship. Where is his mind, his head at? He's tired of being double-teamed. They get him a dynamic scorer in the backcourt. You throw a double team in Ant Edwards with LaMelo Ball on the court, you are playing with fire. LaMelo will drop 10 3-pointers on you in the blink of an eye. And so this is what their move is. To accomplish this, they are basically emptying their coffers. They are giving up, because this is going to end up sort of combining with the Julius Randle deal. They're trading 2 of their 3 best big men. Okay, in a Western Conference where everybody's getting bigger, they're trading big for small here. You know, including Randall and Naz Reid, who's an incredibly highly respected and valued player, to Charlotte.
Right.
To get this deal done, they have to grease it with the 1 first-round pick they've got left and 3 pick swaps. For Charlotte, this is a pivot to Con Knippel as their franchise player. They will move away from LaMelo Ball. They will give themselves an opportunity to give a great pick-and-roll partner for Con Knippel to play with, and then there will be fallout. Fallout is, with Ball out of the way and his contract off the books, they can focus on re-signing Kobe White, who they traded for during last season and was really good for them. They can give him starters money to be their starting point guard.
All right, there are financials in this, and Bobby, we're going to get to that in a moment. First, Tim McMahon with us this morning as well. Tim, what's your reaction to this?
This is the Charlotte Hornets saying they thought that their success last year with LaMelo Ball as a driving force was fool's gold. This is them saying we do not believe in LaMelo Ball. Yes, they squeezed the Wolves for everything they could, but this is not a superstar return package. This is moving LaMelo Ball when they had an opportunity to move on with their franchise. And for the Wolves, this is a swing, and this is telling all those vultures that are circling from other front offices, go somewhere else. Shoot, get away from here, because this is a move that is telling Anthony Edwards, we are all in to win right now. And obviously, Ant was involved in this. Ant was consulted in this, and this is something that he wanted. He wanted to be paired with another potential star. And I say potential because LaMelo Ball has not proven himself as a superstar in this league yet.
It seems like trying to win a different way as well. I mean, all morning, Brian, you've been talking about size, specifically in the Western Conference. And this is a team that gets smaller and arguably worse defensively.
Well, they have Rudy Gobert, who is an absolute anchor defensively. And this is a vote of confidence in their first-round draft pick from last year, Johan Berenger, who they are very, very high on. They're going to be asking him to take a big role here as part of this. But I'm seeing some reaction already on social that people are surprised that LaMelo maybe didn't get more value. I think the Hornets did great here. I don't have all.
They should be. Well, the trade can't happen until July 6th. But if it could happen today, I would be on with the league office like right now.
Yeah, and high marks for Charlotte.
Saying what? Just making sure it gets through.
Get this thing done.
Okay, not complaining if you're one of the other 28 teams?
No. I mean, when you look at it, eventually, from Minnesota's perspective, they traded Julius Randle and Naz Reid for LaMelo Ball. And that does not include the draft picks. Who's playing? Who's your size? You basically just lost your 2 forwards for a guard. And yes, you needed guard depth, and you brought back Ayo Dosunmu. So there's work to do for the Timberwolves here with limited financial flexibility. You got no draft picks left. The kitty's empty. From Charlotte, they're saying, wait a minute, we won 40-plus games last year, but we're not good enough, right? And as Tim said, a little bit of fool's gold. We still have a good team. Let's take advantage of a player who played 72 games, the most in 5 years here with him. When you look at what they were able, they have the second most first of all teams now. They have this trade exception, which is worth $41 million. They can go out and make deals to acquire players. Their likelihood is they're going to bring back Kobe White on a.
So wait a minute. So the trade exception will be in Charlotte?
Yes.
So I just want to slow you down. $41 million trade exception. That'll be the largest trade exception in the history of the NBA.
Yep.
So not only do they get all these draft assets, they now can go shopping if they want to fit their team around Con Knippel, Brandon Miller, Kobe White. Love it.
Yep.
Love it for Charlotte.
That's a deep sigh. That's a deep sigh for me.
Yeah, I know that
Mil.
LaMelo is an incredibly popular player. My 8-year-old loves him, okay? I know that his game at times is very attractive. But he's struggled being healthy, and frankly, when he was their best player, the Hornets struggled as a team.
So he struggled being healthy. I mean, he missed 10 games last season. That's a high watermark. He missed 95 across the previous 2.
And here's the thing. The reason why he was healthy is because Charlotte managed his minutes. He played less than 30 minutes per game. You can't expect him to play 30,
well,
35,
I will say this,
36 minutes.
They just invested in Ayo Dosunmu, gave him a $100 million contract 2 days ago. So they will have some protection for him. But look at this Minnesota roster. Between Ant, Dosunmu, and Ball, you're looking at $500 million in contracts for these guys. They're heavily invested in that trio on the perimeter now.
To say the least. Tim McMahon, final word is yours.
Hey, I just want to have a little bit of time here as a devil's advocate. Part of the reason Con Knippel had such a spectacular rookie year is because LaMelo Ball was creating open looks for him. So this is great value for the Hornets. I promise you this, the Grizzlies would do backflips to get half of that in return for John Morant. But I don't know that moving off LaMelo Ball makes the Hornets better right now. Matter of fact, I would argue it absolutely does not. This is about
I'm not
the
sure they're
long
trying.
term in Charlotte.
I'm not sure the Hornets are trying to get better. The Hornets, I don't think, thought that they were on the verge of like breaking through the top 4 in the East. Con Knippel's 20 years old, 21 years old. Let's go on his timeline.
To your point, Bobby, you mentioned cracking the top 6 needs to be the goal. Perhaps Charlotte didn't think they were presently constructed to do that. So backflips, frog splashes. What? That's speaking the language of the WWE. Tonight, seriously engaged. Those are the words in trade talks with multiple teams aggressively pursuing star point guard LaMelo Ball. According to Shams, trade talks surrounding Ball have picked up steam, and a potential trade could develop in the next 24 to 48 hours. Ball has 3 years left on his contract, is eligible to sign a 2-year, $119.2 million extension on July the 6th. That's Austin Reeves money. That's how we're categorizing that.
You just made Austin's day saying that.
I think Austin made his own day. Why don't we start with Windy, or perhaps his agents did. But let's start with LaMelo Ball. What more do we know about this morning?
Yeah, so this is a bit of a pinch point for the Hornets. The Hornets have this situation where they're coming off a season where he's been healthy. He hasn't been this healthy in years. His value has not been higher. They are sort of quasi-pivoting to Con Knippel as their franchise player, the guy they want to build around. And there's these teams out there that were interested in either Jaylen Brown or Antetokounmpo, who are interested in a big splash acquisition. So there's a bit of a market for him. So I wouldn't say this is a guarantee to happen, but I definitely think the Hornets are trying to see what the market for him is.
As for what the market would look like, Tim, I want to go to you. What teams, you hear this from Brian, what teams make the most sense in your opinion?
Well, the team that you're hearing about the most from people around the league is the Minnesota Timberwolves, and it's no secret. They've been star hunting in the last handful of transaction cycles. They don't have a lot of assets in terms of future picks, but they've been trying to find that co-star to pair with Anthony Edwards. There's definitely interest there. There are other teams involved, but again, the Timberwolves are the team that you're hearing the most about.
So it wasn't, the co-star was not Julius Randle, it would appear, right? He's out of Minnesota, Bobby, but what sort of trade could we be looking to see here?
Well, I think it's interesting with Minnesota, who Julius Randle he's been traded to Brooklyn as part of his deal, and they've agreed to a deal on Ayo Dosunmu here. How do you get the money to work? Is it Rudy Gobert? And that takes away another big, Naz Reid. So here's a player making $36 million in LaMelo Ball. You've got to get up there around $32 million, a team that doesn't have draft assets here. So the mechanics would have to be creative from the Timberwolves' perspective. I think the LaMelo stuff is fascinating just because of, here's a player that's played 72 games last year. It's only the second time in his career. So availability matters. A lot of the success in Charlotte last year because they were healthy. And if you're in that front office, you're looking at it thinking, can he do that again? Can he play another 70 games, or is this the time to take advantage of what may be a market of teams looking for point guards?
We were talking about this in the pre-show meeting, Windy, and you were talking about the popularity of LaMelo Ball. That perhaps is outsized compared to what we see on the floor. But at least we did see him on the floor 72 games.
Yeah, he averaged less than 30 minutes a game. They reduced his minutes to help manage his health. Look, LaMelo Ball is not for everybody, right? Not everybody is going to look at him and see as a guy who fits. But I can kind of see why Minnesota is looking at this here, because if you put LaMelo Ball out on the court and you double team Ant Edwards, you are in trouble. You are playing with fire, because that guy will shoot from anywhere on the court. He can hit 7, 8, 9, 10 3-pointers in a game if you're out there. He will force teams not to be on him. But if the cost is Gobert, I can't see how they go forward. They won the series against the Nuggets because of Gobert. There is a height and size race in the Western Conference right now. So I'm not sure what the pathway is. I guess it's possible that they could expand the Julius Randle trade into a multiple-team trade to open this door. But I think Minnesota feels like they have to look at this, and I think Charlotte feels like they have to look at this. There's some other teams involved. Maybe we see a trade, maybe we don't. I don't think it's a guarantee.
The future of the Hornets in the post-LaMelo Ball era, let's spin this forward, looks like what? A ball-dominant Con Knippel and fill in the blank.
Well, they have really done a great job in the draft. They have 2 draft picks in the top 18 that they are bringing in. They have Brandon Miller, who is a guy they can also build around. They have optionality. I think what they're looking at here is this the highest value LaMelo's going to have? It's certainly the highest it's been for the last 3 years. Should we make a move now or not? I think they're on the fence.
And to Bobby's point, this is as available as LaMelo Ball has been. Let's get to L.A. Austin.